Heyo internet citizens, it's the Nerd Wonder here to start a new thing called Cover It, a series that focuses on comic book covers. Now, we have all heard that single saying time and time again, we can't judge a book by its cover. But I'm suggesting that you go against this kind of thinking. In a lot of comic book shops, you aren't allowed to skim or flip through books. You have to decide to purchase something based on what you see. Because of this, the first thing the consumer sees must be appealing and attractive. Thus, the cover is an important part of a comic book, so it should present something tasteful, explain a small bit of the story, and should have as much effort put in as the pages inside. I thought it would be a great idea to start talking about some of the current covers in comics, and explain what is good or bad about them, specifically in the big two. And to start this series off, we are going to check out Marvel Legacy's original comic cover. And since it was supposed to be the equivalent of DC's Rebirth, we'll be looking at the original DC's Rebirth cover alongside it. I guess DC versus Marvel. No variants, no specialties, just the common covers that came with these stories and events. So let's start things off with the older of the two, DC's Rebirth, a story that was meant to fix everything the New 52 did and restore the heroes to their original glory. Okay. So, this is our cover. We have some heavy blues that are emanating from this electric lighting that shines in the upper left corner. The heroes reach out to the hand that is coming from this light. For people that have read this story, we know it's the original Wally West, Kid Flash from the pre-52 era. His emergence into this universe helped slowly restore the broken pieces of the DC realm. So this cover not only gives you a nice picture, but also hints as to what will be seen inside this comic. This is a thing that isn't always often seen with current comics in the big two. A lot of covers tend to just be some characters posing or doing nothing that has to do within the story. So this is a nice callback, and perhaps also saying, we're going back to what you love. You can also kind of see it has some inspiration from Da Vinci's creation of Adam, with the posing and how the focal point leads your eyes right up to the heavenly or ethereal figure above. Rather fitting for a book that is sort of recreating the DC universe. Now, this cover is actually larger. Both of them are. The back of the book continues this piece, so let's open it up and see what it has to offer. Alrighty, so seeing the full thing, we have more heroes that are reaching out to grasp at Wally. You can see their faces showing desperation and determination to get to him, as if stating they are too tired of what is happening in their lives and want to restore what was lost. The heroes are various characters within DC, new and old, and hints as to what characters will be heavily affected by the changes that occur in this book. Still, not a fan of all this faded blue, but I get why it's there. All in all, a nice cover for a comic that was applauded and has begun to restore DC back to its original glory. And probably a comic that has cemented me as a die-hard DC fan. But hey, I'm trying not to be too biased. Now, let's check out that Marvel Legacy common cover. Hey, I already admitted it, I am a large DC fan. But come on, this is really bad. Sure, the colors are way better than the Rebirth one, but the image itself is a mess. We have three heroes just jammed on this piece looking outward in different directions, so you have no clue what is gathering their attention. And they pretty much hog up every inch on the paper, so there is barely any space between them. And yeah, I know. The Legacy cover is actually a full spread that is folded within to be a poster for later use. But this is the first thing people see when they look at this book. As I said before, not everyone is able to skim through. This is what the consumer will see. This is what they judge the whole thing on. This isn't appealing. They're not going to buy it. There's also no focal point. As I said before, focal points are crucial. It's supposed to lead your eyes to certain parts of the image. Without one, your eyes wander to everything, and it can make the image seem cluttered or annoying. So when you look at a thing like this, your eyes are going to try to find the focal point, and the only thing that my eyes seem to register on is Oh, sweet merciful kingdom. It's Hulk's nipple. That is where your eyes latch onto. It is the only thing here that is centered in the picture, since the three heroes are positioned oddly on the page and their attention is in all different directions. Your sight goes for the center of the page for anything to grip you. And smack dab in Hulk's teeth. It sucks you in and not in a good way. Is it sexy or hot? No. Is it interesting to look at? No. You close your eyes and it's still there. It's burned into your retinas. When Eobod Thorn touched the button and vanished, he returned in horror and despair to announce he saw God as he deteriorated in a blue fire. Likewise, I touched his cover and also saw a nightmare that deteriorated me as I screamed out. I saw Hulk's dang nipple. Okay, let's open this piece fully up and see how it looks full spread. And let us hope it actually picked a real focal point this time. Okay, it's a bit better. With the full spread, Cap becomes somewhat of a focal point, and then you realize everyone's sights are to something in the far distance. They seem to be assembling for whatever is on the horizon. Like the DC cover, it has a large spread of many different heroes. Yet, that's where the comparisons end. This cover is just generic. This is a cover that could be sold as a poster in a local Walmart for $1.50. There is nothing compelling about it. The colors are the only thing I give it credit for, as they are appealing to the eye. But the drawing is just way too bland, and is more like something you'd see on cheap merchandise. You'd think that these heroes were assembling to fight some sort of evil they see, but every emotion varies on every person. Storm and Daredevil look like they're trying to be cautious. Scarlet Witch and Strange have faces like, let's see who can shoot that tree with our magical laser beams, tee-hee! And Cap and Wasp, their faces look like they just had their morning coffee and there's no real threat. Speaking of the characters on display, quite a few of them are either dead or decommissioned. Black Widow is kind of missing at the moment. The original Wasp is retired. Iron Man is gone. Thor still doesn't wield his hammer. And Captain America has put down his shield and has pretty much said he is not Captain America anymore. But what about inside the book? If they are on the cover, that means they will have their positions restored. Right? No. It just hints about another event, the revival of Wolverine, and maybe the Fantastic Four returning. This cover was a cheap trap attempting to lure old fans in with the hope that their beloved heroes would be restored. And that was a lie. No shocker there. Marvel is lazy and cheap when it comes to their work nowadays, and people are picking up on that. DC's Rebirth had to go into second printing and was being pulled from the shelves constantly. While even though Marvel's Legacy is said to be going into second printing, many people have revealed that most comic shops still have huge stacks of the book unable to be sold. Marvel, recall that old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. What you are doing is less than 20. Put more work and effort into your things. Even just on the cover, DC's Rebirth showcases how much effort and love went into this project. Every page of that story, every drawing and coloring, and every character. It showed the DC team really loved what they were doing. And the Rebirth cover shows this. Your Legacy story, your equivalent to DC's Rebirth, was horrifically fake. It's generic inside and out. This is not how you gather fans. This is how you make them flee. And that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, check out some of my other stuff or subscribe to the channel. Maybe if there was something that you liked, hated, or have suggestions, do tell me by commenting. Until then, I'll see you later.